Okay, let's start by completing the square for a simple quadratic. Simple because the coefficient of x squared here is a 1. And in a later video, we will see what happens if this coefficient is different from 1. The first thing you might want to notice is that if you look for two numbers that multiply to -10 and add up to 4, you are not going to find two such numbers. So factorization here is useless if you want to try and solve the equation x squared plus 4x minus 10 is 0. So here you have no other choice but to use the completed square form. The trick here will be to use the formula x plus a squared is x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. If you're not so sure about this formula, you can write x plus a squared as x plus a times x plus a. Just carry out the multiplication and check that you will get right there. Anyway, here, you see, we have the x squared that's there. We need to match this 2a squared with this 4x. So if 2a here is 4, this means that our a here needs to be 2. So we can rewrite our quadratic as x squared plus 2 times a times x. And then you see that the a squared here should be a 2 squared, it's a 4, it's not what we have. So we are going to use a little trick, and we are going to add this 2 squared anyway. And to balance things out, we are going to subtract it. Let's not forget the -10 that we have at the end. So what did we do in the end? We've just rewritten 4x as 2 times 2 times x. We've added this 2 squared, because we needed it to match this part of the formula. We've added -2 squared to kind of make up for this thing that we've added, and then the -10 was already there. We are going now to rewrite this thing, that is actually x squared plus 2ax plus a squared, as x plus a squared here. So x plus a squared will be x plus 2 squared. Okay, we still have here this -2 squared and there this -10. So you see, only part of these two numbers that we brought in, only the plus a squared has helped us, match this formula, and this one and this one, they stay in the calculation. We can then collect the numbers at the end of the expression. So we have a -4 -10, and we end up with x plus 2 squared minus 14, and this is the completed square form. Let's now look how this completed square form could help you actually solve the equation. So let's try and solve. X plus 2 squared minus 14 is 0. This means that x plus 2 squared is 14. This means that x plus 2 can be plus or minus the square root of 14. So x is -2 plus or minus the square root of 14. You see, the two numbers that we're looking for were -2 plus square root of 14 and -2 minus square root of 14. So it's very unlikely that the factorization could have helped us get anywhere near these numbers. In the next video, we'll have a look at completing the square with the quadratic for which the coefficient of x squared is different from 1.